Hello everyone, it's me, Jennifer Holmes. Part one of this video, I showed you the clubs and all the fun stuff I got a chance to do. But this second part is where I'm going to show you the things that I learned when I went to the Slave Museum. Being there showed me how much love we lack here in America, but it also showed me to be appreciative for the things that I have. My 2-bedroom townhome, my boys that wasn't with me for those 2 weeks. You know, it killed me not being around them, and I appreciate them a lot more now. The trip was so insightful, and it is something I will never forget. I really got to take my boys to this trip. So we went to a slave museum in Badagry where they showed us the route that the slaves had to take to get to the Atlantic Ocean.
My name is Mr. Bode, the supervisor in charge of Tourist Center Badagry. It's not heavy.
Yeah.
It's not heavy.
Oh my God, yes it is heavy.
Just a minute. And they stay like that 6 months. On top
6 months?
On top of the high sea before they get to their destination. That is a slave. Due to how it was suffered, was stopped at Sierra Leone. Due to the master, you have to join the Society of the Missionary. That's why you become first African bishop. And the first Bible they brought to the country, King James Version, was kept there, 1842. And the one that I just translated to Yoruba, 1845-1846, you used 1 year on it. Also kept there. The school we are reading today started in that position. Not the life anymore. All this one is a musical instrument. When they play it like this, it's a musical instrument. And some of them will be beating all this one.
It's instruments.
Different sound. Different sound. And this is the grave of the sheep ruling the water. His father is one of the middlemen within the white and the blacks as agent. During this man did not support what his father is doing. He is the one who invited the missionary down to the country. That's why you see the sign of the cross here. Shipsungu Mobi by the name. Boyko Badagry. This Boyko is Badagry language because we have our own language. Means GRA. Because the Portuguese, Brazilians, they are all living within this environment. He died on October 16, 1891. When they shot the first one, meant half of the slaves have left here down to the farm to go and work for their daily bread. And when they shot the second one, when they arrived by 2, then the third one 8 o'clock, because everybody living in the town, both the slaves, you have to go and sleep by force. If you are caught, that bye-bye to the nation. And they will give this small one to our chief. They collected 40 people from them at rate of exchange. The 2 big ones land outside there. Each of it, brought by Lagos State Governor Fashola down there, each of it exchanged at rate of 100 slaves. These are the money of that time they are spending. If you don't have this one, you do trade by barter.
So we got killed for some darn shells?
Yeah. You know, they got it from the sea. And it's not easy to get it from the sea that time. It's all the sheep who have some servants, the slaves. They use them maybe before they can get 5 of this one, about 10 people or 20 people have died. Maybe a month. It's not.
Here is when we got on the boat and we actually drove to the point of no return, and that is where the slaves went and got on the boat. So now I'm walking into the boat that takes us. This spot is called the point of no return. The point of no return? This is called the point of no return?
Yeah, it's a port.
This is a port to the point of no return.
Yes, it's a port.
Now government and now back then, you know you're
from
finished.
here, they pass them down to the point of no.
So when they get here,
so we're getting in this boat to go to the point of no return. Once we get here, we are not coming back, but inshallah we'll be coming back safe and sound.
This is not the ship, though.
Here's inside the boat. So I am in the boat going towards the point of no return, where my ancestors were taken into slavery, taken away from their homes, their husbands, their wives, separated from their children, towards the Atlantic Ocean. Oh.
Sierra Leone is another large depot where they'll drop everybody there. They made the location. They went to the Cuba, Jamaica, America, Brazil, and so on like
So
that.
if the boat wasn't here when they got there, they would go this way towards Sierra Leone
If the
to
ship
the
did
other
not come,
port.
they forced them to trek through this place.
To another port.
To the Sierra Leone.
Is the ship supposed to be at Sierra Leone?
And the high sea.
Okay, so now we are at the point of no return. This is where our ancestors were taking to the slave ships to America. We were taken to America, Jamaica, all the surrounding islands. And here we are. There's signs like this all over.
Sent to South Africa, some sent to any other place they're differentiated so they can know each other. That's why the federal government put this on journey to unknown destination. Because immediately they got here on the ship.
This is the point of no return. And they came here to get on the boats. Jennifer Holmes has taken the route from the motherland to the evil places of Babylon. To show that the men in Africa are raised from birth to be real men. American Africans need to step our game up because this young, strong man is out here working like a real man.
But a slave don't have a name. Like I was explaining to you, he himself was a slave who became a slave trader. Some people argued, they said slavery was abolished in so yeah. Even 1980, slavery was abolished legally in Mauritania in 1980. In West Africa here. And slavery was legally abolished there in 1980. So if anybody says, oh, slavery was when this man was taken to Baumé, his first master and owner was an Islamic scholar and a slave trader by the name of Abbas. So they call him Abbas. Who later sold this man to an European by the name of William. It was Mr. Williams who took him to Brazil. But then Brazil, Mr. William treated him well. He knew there was something unusual about him. Instead of selling him, he didn't sell him. He took him to his house and made him a domestic slave. Domestic slave work in the master's house, plantation of few slaves work on the farm. The man treated him well. He taught him how to write. He taught him how to read. And it was illegal for you to teach your slave how to read and write. You could go to jail for it. So the man treated him well. But you see, when he became a young man, through Mr. Williams and the friends of Mr. Williams, he had learned how to speak English, Dutch, Portuguese, and Spanish, which was unusual. Mr. Williams met him and said, look, I'll give you your freedom, but on one condition, I want you to work for me. And he answered his master and said, sir, I'm your slave. Whatever you want me to do, I'll do for you. So whenever Mr. Williams go to do his business, which was slave trading, he usually take this man along with him. Consciously, he was teaching him his trade because he got to a time that he decided that instead of him coming to West Africa, he needed someone to represent him in West Africa, and he sent this man back to West Africa. When he came back to West Africa, he settled down at the colony of Lagos, where we call Lagos Island today, specifically in that place called Ofin. Ofin is in between Apobo and Idumota. As I'm talking to you, this man still have descendants in Lagos Island. Some of them bear Williams as their family name in Lagos Island. Some of them bear Abbas as their family name, and some of them bear Seriki as their family name. But the British, let's give it to Great Britain, it was the British that were disturbing the African slave traders, and they were disturbing the European slave traders that they should stop buying and selling of slaves. So
the British is who wanted to stop.
Yes, the British, yeah. They were the one who were fighting the European slave traders and the African chiefs. But you see, before Seriki Abbas came to settle down here, he used to come and do business around here. He used to go as far as Port Novo with that. There's Ketu in Benin Republic. They know him very well in those places. He used to do business there. So it was easy for him to come, because the reason why Badagry became prominent was because of the strategic location. There's a point of no return on the other side. There's a lagoon here. Now, when the British Navy, the Navy ship, whenever they are patrolling the Atlantic Ocean, they see a peaceful and quiet island or landmass, not knowing in the beginning that there was a town behind that place bustling with slave trading. It's one of the reasons why Seriki Abbas came to settle down here. It was the missionaries. When we talk about slave trade, I said some people try to use the Bible, Christianity, to enslave the black people, yet there were still some Christians who rose up and said, look, forget it. These guys are human beings, and we call them the abolitionists. And some of the abolitionists were they were former slave traders who liberated their own slaves, and the liberated slaves also became abolitionists. Black people in the diaspora, we, your brother back home, your cousins, we want you guys to come back home and help us with the skills and knowledge you have.
The irony of all of this is that there's people that actually live in these old cells. These are all old slave cells. And as you can see, they have plans. So if I ever said I didn't know what the struggle was, last night I felt it, like sleeping in this hotel room. I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking it was going to be a bug crawling on me or something.